everyone, how are you all doing? I hope you're all doing fine and welcome back to your live session. It's been quite some time that I have done this session with NVR for you guys, but I'm back. Let's this time do a few new questions and learn about a few new techniques. I hope you guys are excited because I am. If you guys have still not liked the video and shared it with your friends, please do before we begin with anything else. So let's get started. The first thing first, rituals are rituals. Talking about who is Glecta. Glecta is a London tutoring platform where we are providing services for 11 plus, KS3, GCSEs and A levels, and we're also doing it for all the boards. Moving on to what are we going to cover today. We're covering only 3 topics today because it's going to be a short live, but it's still there. So we're going to learn about analogies and relationship because a lot of kids do get confused, and I wanted to do these topics together because I know they are practically the same. So the logics behind them, the kind of techniques you have to use to solve the questions is practically just the same. So we're going to do them, and once we're done with this, we're going to talk about the shape codes. So I hope you guys are ready. Moving on to analogies. This is something that I have discussed before, but if you've not been in those classes, you're welcome. So let's get started with how to solve analogies. Talking about how to solve analogies, there's only 4 different types of the questions that we see there. So we have talked about these, but let's talk about them one more time for all the new students that are here for the first time. The first is pattern. There may be some kind of pattern in the questions. So maybe like something is moving around. Let's say it is like, okay, let's say it is A, then it goes to B, then it goes to C, it goes to D. Next would be like that. So we would obviously know that A, B, C, and the last one would be E. Correct. So that's how we can understand the questions, because there would be a pattern in the questions. There would be something that would be changing continuously, that would be shifted from its place. So something that is related to the images. Talking about the second type, which is rotation. Now this is something that I tell all my kids who are there in my classes, and if you guys have not learned the technique, use the clock. When I say use the clock, I mean, for example, let's say your image is like this. So the top part is black so that we can differentiate the direction. So if it is like that, if it is fixed, so we would know the direction. For example, if it goes from this to this, with the top part of black being this side, you would know that maybe this was at 12, now it's approximately at 2. So like that. Always try to have an anchor, always try to have a point that you're going to look at. Don't look at any other thing in the image, only look at one point first. Let that move. Once that has moved, you can move on to next topic and you can move on to next things. Mothership say, I thought patterns meant shading. Actually, patterns means a lot of things. If I have to talk about patterns, patterns may mean, let's say, what kind of shapes are there. So shapes, let's say you're going to count the number of sides in the shape. The shadings of the shape, they can be changing. They may have certain kind of relationship between each other. Then it can be about lines as well. Number of lines. It may be about the type of line. It may be about the angle of line. It can be about that. It can also be about angles. It can be about the number of angles and total angle. It can be about total number of shapes as well. So it can be about anything. Hello, 𝗟𝗓𝗃. Hello, everyone else. Okay, so it can be about anything. That's why I said it can be anything. It can be side, total number of sides, shading in the images, number of lines, types of lines, angle of lines, and directions of lines. Of course, we cannot forget the direction. What is the direction of line should also be pointed at. And then there's angles, number of angles, what is the total angle. Let's say if there's 90 degrees angle, how many 90-degree angles are there in each. So like that, we have to count those things as well sometimes. So make sure that it is going to be in a certain pattern. Moving back to rotation. Now, for example, this is an image which on the bottom side was almost the same. But let's say my image is like this. If it is like this and then it goes like this, you would know it has moved a bit to this side. But at the same time, if the same image do go like the black side is still here, but this is like this, you would know it's rotation plus reflection. How? First you rotate it at this angle and then you reflect it and you would get your said figure. So like that. When the image is not symmetrical, you should pay attention to what is on the right. So for example, of this black, on the left hand side of this black, I have this extruding part, which means at the black side, on the right of the left of the black side, I still should have that extra line. But if I don't, I have it on the other side, that would mean it is reflection. Yes, Soma, the size was also, the sizes of the images, the lines, the angles, everything would matter. So yes, size also matters. So keep looking for one thing in particular and keep on focusing on how that is moving. For example, from being straight, if something goes like this, so you should know that maybe this was at 12 o'clock and this is approximately now at 7. It would be like this. So you should know how much is it moving. So if it's symmetrical, it's a different thing. If it's not, pay attention to the asymmetrical part of the image as well. Make sense? Moving on to the next type that is taken in analogies, it is reflection. Now reflection is of a lot of types. I'm not talking about types of reflection, but there's one type of reflection that confuses the kids a lot, which is diagonal. Okay, Rosaline. Okay, so talking about reflection, because yes, it is difficult to understand one kind of reflection. Vertical is easy. Something is like this, you flip it, and that's vertical. Pretty easy, pretty, simple to understand, but what happens is confusion comes when you have to reflect something diagonally. Now, if I'm talking about diagonal reflection, there's one trick that you guys can use. What you can do is reflect the image vertically and then rotate it 90 degrees. Rotate it a bit and you will see how it will be looking as in diagonal reflection. What happened then is, and you're sick and you're still here, that's so sweet of you, thank you so much. Okay, so you guys see it? For example, if it's this, reflect it and then move it downwards like this. Now this is the diagonal reflection of the same image. Like this. Get it? So always try to first reflect it vertically, then go to rotating it a bit, and that would make the question of reflection easy when the question is for diagonal reflection. Now moving on to the last part, the number play. You're confused in water image, Aradhya. Water image is quite simple. What you're doing in vertical, you do it in horizontal. For example, it's like this. Draw a line, reflect it. Also, if you're confused with water image, what you can do is imagine it like this. So rotate your head, look at it and then reflect. So it would almost be similar to vertical reflection. Yeah, that's what Mothership says. He says, I just turn the page until it's vertical. You can do that. You can just move your head, look at this vertically and you'll be able to do it. But yes, if you're not, then just flip the image downwards. For example, if my hand is like this, flip it downwards and this is the reflection. Now, moving on to number play. Number play is mostly of 3 types or 4 types in 11+, so need not to worry about it. it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Something is increasing, right? So let's say it was 1 line, then 2 line, then 3 line, then 4 line. That could be there. Also, there can be another meaning to this, which is I add 1 line to something, then I'll add 2 lines to something, then I add 3 lines to something. So that can also be a possibility, which is increase 1 by 1, or increase in the numbers is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The second is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now this also has 2 meanings. What is 1 increase, decrease, increase, decrease, increase, decrease. That's one way. Or it can be add 1 line, add 2 lines, add 1 line, add 2 lines. So like that as well, you can do it. Yes, Aradhya, water image is horizontal flipping, while mirror image is vertical flipping. But instead of using the word flipping because it sounds different, use the word reflection. So water image is horizontal reflection, while mirror image is vertical reflection. Now once we're done with these 2 types of number play, let's move on to the third, which is 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, and the next should be next should be 4 times 4. Get it? So it could, yes, Rosaline, it can be used in patterns as well. Number play is usually seen with patterns, like just how I told you, rotation and reflection can come as one question, and that is exactly why pattern can also come in a number play series. So it could be a pattern, but it has numbers involved. So you need to know what number will come next, and that is important. Make sense? Perfect. Now this talks about all the types of number play that are there. There's nothing more than that is involved in the questions, which means if I am able to do this part, I will be able to do anything that is related to series or reflection. Let's move on to the next. Oh, Mothership said 6 times 6. That is not possible because I get it that 1 double is 2, so you write it 2, but 3 is not the double of 2. If it would have been 4, then you could have gone to 8. But you cannot go from 3 to 6, because if it would have been a relationship, yes, you can go. If relationship says 1 times 1 is equals to 2 times 2, then 3 times 3 is equals to what? If you do this, then yes, you can do it. What about 2 times 1, 2 times? There's not really a lot of questions with that. You hardly get any questions with that. These are the 3 most common series of numbers that you see, which is why stick to these. If you're able to solve all the questions of these series, most of the questions are solved. You need not to worry about other types of number plays, but of course, if you go into higher levels of NVR, you will see different numbers play. But here, till 11 plus, there's only 3 or 4. Moving on to the questions now. Looking at the question, I want you guys to try it. I don't want to try it myself because I will do it eventually. So take your time, but do it quickly. I will wait for, let's say, 10 seconds, and then I will start doing them myself. So let me count for you. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So the answer to the first question is, let's solve it. 1 arrow facing this side. Then the inner arrow is still this side, but the lower arrow is facing this side. Okay. So now what will happen? Inner arrow still here, bottom arrow still at bottom. There should be third arrow facing that ways, which according to the answers, options should be A. So yes, the answer to this question is A. Perfect, everyone. Do the next question again, 10 seconds. I'll count it for you. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, let's look at this. So basically the bottom image is almost the same, except the lines keep on flipping. So one time the line that is, like thin, it's on the top, then it gets at the bottom, then at top. So this time it should be, so if this is the dark line, it should be at the bottom of the dark line. Looking at this, it's V, then A, V, then now it should be A. Let's look which one of these match. It doesn't, it has two lines. It doesn't, it has a V. Doesn't because it's a V. Doesn't because the line is on the top. So no, I'm left with E. So yes, the answer to this question is E. So once we're done with these two questions, let's move on. Oh my God, I'm stammering. So let's move on to the next type of question. There you go. Now again, look carefully before you move on. Mothership is happy. I'm happy too, Mothership. You've been doing well. Okay. Oh, I'm not counting. Oh, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. There's one line here. There's two lines here, 2 lines here, 3 lines here. So now I have to look at the number place that if I've understood. 1 times 1, 2 times 2, so it should be 3 times 3. So which means this should have 3. Now looking at black, white, black, this one should have white. But in what direction? So it should have white, but in what direction? Looking at directions, almost 1 a.m., 1, almost 2, almost 3. Oh no, these are on the same side. Hold on. Not 2. This is almost 1. They're the same. So the first and the second block are almost the same here and here. So this one should be here and then here. Then it goes in this corner. So it's moving corners. Corner, then middle, then bottom. So according to that, the answer should be A because this is facing this corner, not possible. Facing that side, too many gaps, no. Black, no. Facing this corner doesn't even make sense. So yes. Now moving on to the next question. Again, 10 seconds for you guys. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, we're done. Let's look at the questions now. Oh, okay. So this was squares. First of all, I do see the same 3 squares in this one as well, except they're flipped to the other side. So that's what I'm going to do for this one. I'm not even looking at what else happened, but I'm going to make this stair-like thingy here. So once I'm drawn this, now I can move on, which is I need to draw squares at this point as well, which means I need to draw triangles at this point as well. Once I'm done with this, but now if you see, there is no one which has stairs at the bottom side. So which means I can't have stairs at the bottom side, which means I should flip it. Because you cannot see the flipping in squares because they're symmetrical. So you can draw them at the top, remove the bottom sides. So let me do that. Once I do that, I do see my answer very clearly. It is B because A is different, C is black, which is not possible, D is alternate colors, and E only has the middle 3, so that's not possible. So that's why the answer to this question is B. Now in this question there always is some confusion because you don't understand the reflection or to move to the other side in symmetrical images, which did happen in the first part, which is the squares did flip around, but you were not able to see it because squares are symmetrical. So even if they did flip them around, they're looking the same. So it does get confusing, and that's exactly why in the starting I did draw them at the bottom so that you can see that it does not match any answer, which means I need to think again. And when you think again, you should understand that the first one is a symmetrical image. I should flip my things to the top side. Once you flip it to the top, you can see your answer clearly. Miss, none of the answers here. None of the answers here have triangle at the bottom. It does. Look at this. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Once you realize that there's no bottom triangles like these ones, you move on. You change your strategy. Look at the question again. Once we're done with this, let's do another question of analogies. Last 2 questions of analogies. Quickly start to solve it. It does look like a staircase from the side, Rosaline. That's true. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, let's look at the first question. Oh, 3 tiny squares, 1 bigger one. 2 tiny squares, 2 bigger one. That means my squares are getting bigger. This got bigger, now this one's turn. It should get bigger, and they should all be big squares. Oh, I made a triangle. Oopsie. So I need big squares, and then I need big squares connected with a square in the middle. Now looking at the line is like this, then standing up, then like this. It should lie down, I think, right? Because it's like this, this, and then this, so it should lie down now. So I'll lie it down. Now looking at the lines in the inside, so they are like one ahead of them. So these lines on the inside were straight, so that's why this square got straight. So I will take the inside lines like these ones on my corners. Now let's see whatever I've made. Is it actually an answer? Yes, it is, and it's D. Perfect, everyone. Moving on to the next question. 10 seconds. Start now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, let's do the question. Okay, it actually looks like a clock. Wow. Like a tiny pointy thing. Then they make another one which has a pointy thing, but this one becomes straight T. Oh, then it becomes like a one-sided T, and then it becomes T, then this corner. So now I think I should have this pointy thing here. I should have this T thing here. Then I should have this thing here. And I think I should have a circle here because I see a circle here. So I think it should be a circle at this set. Let's see if I match any of the following. No, no. Oh, it does not have pointy things. No, no. E. It does match. So, it's okay, Rosaline. Okay, so this was the questions for series. Let's quickly jump on to relationship. And that's what we always do. That's one thing that I always tell you guys, that stay active in the classes, stay active in lives, and whichever one wins, wins. Moving on to relationship. For this one, I'm going to get aside a bit because you have big pictures here. Okay, same concept. Whatever happens in the first pair should happen in the second one as well. So try to complete the pair quickly. Okay, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, let's look at this. It looks like it's been flipped, because if I flip it, it would be like this, and it would be like this. So I think it's been flipped. So let's just try flipping first, because I think it's just a water image. So if I water image this one, I will get D. And the correct answer to this question is D. So, perfect. Moving on to the second question. The second question is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, easy peasy. You rotate it and then invert the colors. And now because this is clockwise rotation, I will rotate this clockwise. You rotate it clockwise, the pointy thing gets at the bottom, and this one has the pointy thing at bottom. Now looking at the square looks like a diamond on the inside, so it will stay a diamond. It won't get a square, so it's not D. Looking at if A changes and flips the colors, invert the colors, yes it does. So yes, it is A. Perfect. Moving on to the next questions of relationship, which is this. Quickly try to solve these, and your time starts now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, because this has triangles and triangles, I'm going to try to keep that as my anchor. So I rotate it. Circle turns into a triangle. Okay, and 3 stays a 3. Now there is a connection, which is that 3 and it turned into a triangle, so maybe 3 and 3. That can be. And the color of the squares did change. So it was white, and it should be rotated, so it would go upside down because of clockwise rotation. It is 4, so I think we should have a square, and it should have white, black colored squares. So black colored squares, square, and flipped, perfect. It is E. So that's how you should connect the things with each other. Now let's look at another one. Okay, so the next one, try to do that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, in this one a lot of things changed. A circle became 2 circles. Lines were flipped around, so they were rotated. And then I have a square coming up. Okay, let's do the same. This one would be copied here as well. And this one will get like this. And then I should have a square here. So let's see, but I don't have a square somehow. Oh, it could be like connecting these two would make a square, so it gets here. So if I connect these two, S, 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 I should have something like this. That does make sense. Let's look at which one is actually the same. Oh, A looks pretty same to this one. This does not. No. Oh, it made the same thing here. No. And it's circles, so no. So the answer to this question stays A. Perfect. So now moving on to the last questions of relationship. Let's do this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay. Okay, I have a triangle with 3 triangles, with 3 circles. So it gets into 3 triangles. Okay. And then there was 1 white, there was 2 black, but it's flipped now. Now I have 2 white and 1 black. And then I also have lines in the black ones. Okay, let's try the same thing. 3 dots, so I would have 3 squares. There should be 2 black dot squares and 1 with white, and should have lines. So black dots, lines, and white. It could be considered. All black, no. Now this moved to the other side, like this one is going this way, so this one should also go this way. So it can't be C. It is this, perfect, but it's not black on the circles, squares, so I'm not considering that. This one has 2 line boxes, so no. So the answer to this question is A. Perfect. Moving on to the last question of C relationships. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. First is my triangle has been flipped. So I flip the triangle. There's a circle which is flipped in the color, which means it was black, it goes white. Then I have square at the bottom, and then I have 1, 2, 3. 3 turns, kind of tail on the top. Let's try to do the same with this one. I will flip it, so it would become like a house with 2 white circles. It should have 1 square at the bottom and 3 tails like this, I think. Okay, these tails have moved, no. Oh, this looks like exactly what I made. I'll consider this. This is definitely not that. This can be, but it has extra lines, so no. And this one has 1, 2, and that's it. That's how many dots it has, like turns it has in the lines, so not E as well. So I'm left with B, and I wanted B, so we have B. So the answer to this question is B. Do you guys get it? Oh, there's also Aradhya saying D. Why would you say D? D has like an extra thingy coming out. We don't want that thingy. Okay. Now that we're done with relationship, let's move on to codes. Before that, to stay tuned with all the future coming lives, you should join us at Telegram, YouTube and Facebook. There we would upload and also we would update about anything that's going to happen in the future, so you'll know. Okay, shape codes, there's only one rule. First of all, don't look at the shape first time, only look at the alphabet. Once you get the common alphabet, you can compare the two images first. Second is, bottoms would talk about one thing, the tops would talk about another thing. They cannot be talking about the same thing and they cannot be interchanging what they mean. Which means, for example, I'm doing the first question for you guys. Like I said, look at the common alphabet. So I do see S and S. Okay, in both the S, the color of the shapes are black. So that means S means black. Okay, let's see if that makes sense. Because W and W is also common and they're both white. So yes, maybe that does. So it is white. Moving on to the top side, it is R and R. Both of them have circles. So R means circles. Now moving on to U means square and T means triangle. Now I need triangle, so it's T, and I need a black one, which means S. So the answer to this question would be A, which is T and S. Make sense? Madhusha was like, no, not horizontal code. You will have to do all. You will have to do all types of them. So, okay. Moving on to the next question, I want you guys to do it. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, let's see. Common, common, I see L, N common. Oh, I also see P. Okay, perfect. Okay, so both the ends are facing at the bottom corner. So I think that's what N means, the bottom corner. Now moving on to P and P. Both the P are common. Now, if N is talking about which corner they're going to face, which means P is also going to talk about what corner they're facing, which means P means the bottom, like the top corner, N means this corner. Okay, let's move to the bottom. There's nothing common in the bottom. So now let's see what thing is no common to anyone. Now U has 1 line, V has 4 lines, W has 3 lines, and X has 2 lines. Maybe that's what it means. I need 1 line, so I'm going to say U, and I need pointing it at the bottom corner, so that would be N. N and U. I do have my answer as D. So easy peasy. See it? Let's do it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, you've done. Okay, let's try this. Common alphabet, B and B is common here. Okay, I see the line that's in the middle, like this thingy. It's the same, so I think I'm going to say B is this. Then we look at P and P common. Now because B was something in the middle, P has to be something regarding the middle, and it has arrows. Both of them do. So I'm going to say that it's for arrows. I need arrows, so straight away I'm going to write P at the top. Moving on to the bottom ones, again there's nothing common. But if you look at the kind of shapes that they have, C is like U, E is like V, G is like 3, and F is like W. So I need these 3 things, so it's going to be G, P and G, it's E. Perfect. Let's do the next question. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, perfect. Let's look at, there's nothing common at the top, so let's start from the bottom. There's B and B. And I see both of them have squares that are lined up. So that means it's a line. A and A, they're diagonal-ish. I need a diagonal-ish, so I'm going to go for A. Let's look at the other thing. Because the top has nothing in common, which means I have to look at something that's different in all. E has this corner, B has this corner, T has top corner, E and S and T is done, so F is this corner. I need this corner, so it's going to be E. So it's going to be E and A, which is B. So yes, it is B, everyone. Perfect. So now we're done. Let's do last two questions. And the last two questions, let's look at them. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Oh God, there's so many things. Okay, let's look at N first. N and N. Okay, there's nothing common except the top part, which is that this thingy is black. And in M, that thingy is white, so I'm going to go for that. That means this would be N. Moving on to the bottom part, there's nothing common. And at the same time, this bottom design is also not common to anyone. So I'm going to stick with that. This has this, what I need. So I think it's going to be A. It would be N and A, which is A part. Perfect. Moving on to the next. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and 0. Okay, let's do the last question together. H and H. Let's see what's common here. There is nothing common. Is there? Oh, the top. Oh, the top. This has black and black, and this has black and black. I need white. O would be my alphabet, so bottom would be O. Let's look at the other. S, T, U, V. Nothing is common. So I think that's going to be for the shapes, because shapes have different colors. So I think that's, I need this shape, which is exactly like this one. So I'm going to go for V. It's VO, which is D. So it would be D. Make sense to everyone? Now, let's move on to riddle. We're just going to do one riddle quickly, and then we're going to sum this up. So it says, what word has KST in the middle, in the beginning, and at the end? Oh, what? What word has KST in the middle, in the beginning, and at the end? What do you think this is? Okay, again, 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And the answer to this question is inkstand. So it has in the beginning, KST in the middle, and at the end. So it's an inkstand. Okay, I hope you guys learned something, and even if you guys are in the classes and even if you're not, I want you to, whoever is not enrolled with Glecta, I would ask you guys to join the classes, because we're going to do way much more questions and a lot of practice in the classes. And whoever is already in the classes, you guys make sure you revise these things at home. In the classes, there's not going to be any lousiness, so keep practicing at home. Keep understanding that this is important for you. Your 11 plus is important. So keep practicing, keep up the spirit. As of, if I'm talking about the next live, you would have to stay tuned for that. So that is it from my side. I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. Please do meet us in the next live session, and I'll see you then. Till then, bye-bye. Take care, everyone.